Welcome, guys, and we're finally back after a long cold winter, and I've had one heck of a time trying to set this up tonight. I have no idea how much time we have left. The moon's about to go into the trees. I've been working for like 2 hours. I forgot where half my stuff was and my equipment and everything, and I just had one heck of a time, and I'm just trying to get a video put together here. First one of the year, quite typical. Had a real tough setup. I initially tried a video, and I had no sound. I don't know what happened to that one. This one seems to be working better. I had a 4.5 millimeter eyepiece in, and we had a horrible image. The seeing conditions were just horrible. I'm trying to center this one up a little bit better. I seem to be having a little bit better. I'm using a 9 millimeter eyepiece now with my 5-inch Maxudov Cassegrain telescope. And what I was interested in tonight was the Higgins Rill area, and I'm going to see if I can center that up now before we lose this into the trees. And it's going to be pretty quick because it took me so long to get this set up tonight. Let's see. We are just about, with the power I'm working on. Yeah, there they are. Okay, almost dead center. There's a very small crater. It's called Higgins, and there's a V-shaped cut that points over towards 3 o'clock. That is Higgins Rill. I've actually got a right angle elbow in there tonight because I couldn't find the right connecting pieces to make it go together straight through so the moon's image wouldn't be flipped. I've got a flipped image of the moon now, so if I tried to name off some craters, it would be pretty tough because I would be working backwards. I know we're looking at the Sea of Tranquility here, and let's see if we go up. Yeah, no, there's the Sea of Tranquility, that bluish area there. That's always blue, and Sea of Serenity is below that. We've got a fairly nice image now that I dropped the eyepiece down to 9 millimeters. That triple crater ring up above there, the one with the mountain range in it, I know is Theophilus, crater Theophilus. And the one at the far left is Katharina, and then there's one in the middle. I think it's Cyrillus. I'm not quite sure the name of that one. That snaky white line up near the left-hand corner is the Altai Scarp. I wanted to talk about a couple things, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have before we lose the moon into the trees. I mentioned to you guys last fall that I was having a lot of back problems again, and on December 8th I had surgery number 6, which had me laid up for a good month, and then of course we were right in smack dab in the middle of a brutally cold winter. So of course we weren't doing any imaging, and I had some recovery time. And I spent a lot of time on YouTube looking at different sites, and I ran across a couple of sites that really upset me. One, not so much, one really bad. I have a problem with these conspiracy theorists. You know, if that's what they want to believe, that's fine. One of them actually asked to use one of my videos to prove his point, and I told him, yes, he could use my video, but don't claim that I backed his idea. And his idea was, you maybe or may not have heard of it, he calls it the lunar wave. I do not subscribe to that theory. I think that's strictly electronic in the image. But anyway, you know, at least this fellow, and I'm not going to name any of these sites by name, at least this fellow is, should I say, gentle in his handling of things. He, like he says, if you don't agree with me, that's okay, and but don't call me names because I believe in something, and that's the way I believe things should be. So I don't have a real problem with that one, other than the fact that he kind of tends to knock NASA, and I'm a strong backer of NASA, and I do not believe in these theories against NASA at all. The other site was really pretty vicious. They have all kinds of theories. Of course, they're NASA haters. And if you don't believe what they believe, you are just plain dumb and stupid. That kind of work I do not like at all. I try to stay away from it. I don't want it on my site. I don't care if you disagree with me. That's fine. That's what science is all about. But, present your case and try to do it with a few facts. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. But if you start, the name calling and this one's dumb, that one's dumb, you're dumb, NASA's a bunch of idiots, I don't want to hear that stuff. That's, there's a lot of reasons why, I know NASA's not lying to us, but yet people seem to think that they are. The different shadows. They forget the full Earth up on the moon throws a shadow that's 10 times brighter than the moon throws our shadow at night here. So, you get double light patterns. You get the moon, you get the sun's pattern, and you get the full Earth pattern thrown, and there's reflection off the landers. There's a number of reasons why those shadows are coming from several different areas. But the biggest thing is the reflectors that the Apollo astronauts left up there. McDonald Observatory down in Texas uses them all the time to bounce laser beams off of. They get move around. They have to move the beam around. They hunt for it, and they finally hit that reflector just right. They fire off the raised laser beam, and boom, 1.25 seconds for the light to get there, 1.25 seconds, so 2.5 seconds after they fire, boom, they get that bright flash back. The idea of this is that they're measuring the distance to the moon, and they can do it within a few inches, if you can believe that. It's amazing. So those reflectors, we put them there. The astronauts put them there. You don't want to believe it? That's up to you. Okay, I don't care. But don't call me an idiot because I believe they're there, and I've seen the work done by McDonald Observatory using an 84-inch telescope. There's a beautiful crater. Right there, the one on the right, fully sunlit. Notice the sun's just catching some peaks in that other one, so that floor and that crater is much deeper. I'm sorry, the names, again, this image is reversed because I had to throw in a 90-degree angle adapter to get things to fit tonight because I was in such a mess. It was just a mess setting up tonight. I got to go through my equipment and be a little better prepared next time. But as I say, have fun with your science. Have fun. I've been in it 59 years. As of September 8th, 1956, I started. So September of this year, I will have been in astronomy for 59 years. If I'm fortunate enough to get another year in, September of 2016, I will be in amateur astronomy for 60 years. So, I'm not an expert, I'm not a professional astronomer, but I do have a little more knowledge than the average person. Most of my work was not in lunar work. I did deep sky work, mostly CCD work on variable stars. That was my interest and work. And then I got into this lunar imaging program here at the end of my career. It's fun. It's supposed to be easy and fun. Tonight I was so mad at myself. I actually left the part completely out. I ran home from my son's house where I'm set up and have a permanent pier set up. I'm about a quarter of a mile away and went barreling into the house, scared my wife half to death, grabbed some cases and went through them and still couldn't find the right stuff, and so I just grabbed another of my small 5-inch telescope. My goal was to use the Schmidt-Newtonian 10-inch tonight with a Barlow lens and a 4.5 millimeter eyepiece, which I've just gotten. And I had a good image, and I did a whole half-hour video, and it turned out it didn't pick up any of the audio. Right now, everything seems to, I've got a green light on my mic, and I've got a red light on my camera sign on my screen, and I got a good image on the screen. So I assume everything is working good, and at least I'm going to get this one small video up here tonight, the first of the 2015 season. I hope to accomplish this year a couple things. One of them, I think I told you before, using that 10-inch telescope, the 4.5 millimeter, and the Barlow. We'll be working at about 450 power without any zoom, before we even zoom. And my goal is to get a very steady night, and I want to see if we can image live video the crater pits on the floor of the crater plateau. Very difficult to do. I can do it easily, single snapshot imaging with the equipment I use, but trying to take live video of them is very, very difficult. And we'll see how we do with that. Something I've been trying for 2 seasons now, and I've yet to do it. But I think with the 10-inch, a good, clear, steady night, and we might just pull it off. So we'll see. We'll see. But I wanted to get that bit into you about the websites. There's a whole bunch of them out there now that do lunar stuff, and they get into the chemtrails, and they get into this theory, and they get into that theory. Well, I don't subscribe to any of that, but I don't put people down if they do either. Just remember that, please. I want to try to keep this site clean. I want to keep it enjoyable. I want you to enjoy the videos I put up. If you see something and it backs what you're thinking that doesn't agree with me, go ahead and point it out. That's what science is about. But just we don't need the name calling. And I just these couple sites that I found this past winter going through, it just upset me so bad that I just wanted to make sure I touched on it tonight for my first video. I didn't want it to be a serious lunar study on anything in particular. There's a beautiful view. Look at that view. I believe, I'm not sure that mountain range. Again, this image is flipped. And in fact, in my fire drill to set the telescope up, my map is laying in the grass outside the car. I'm sitting inside my car. I don't even have my map with me. I mean, this was a real disaster getting this set up tonight. So I'm just hoping that we have a halfway, decent video here at the end of this. We'll go up along this terminator. Look at those peaks catching the sunlight. Beautiful. And here we're back to the area of the rills. Oh, by the way, the rills, there's 2 theories of how they form. They're, again, that little tiny crater. I'm going to try to put it dead center. Let's see. I'll get it dead center. And you can see the line that snakes up and slightly towards 1, and one that snakes down and slightly towards 5 o'clock. A little bit of a V shape. That little tiny crater is Traskner, and that is the Higgins rill. There's 2 theories on how these rills are formed. One of them is that they're tubes, old lava tubes, where the roofs have actually caved in and left these valley-like depressions. And the other is that the moon was volcanically active even back in the heavy bombardment period, and the stretching and pulling of the surface caused cracks like these to open up. Which one's true? I don't know. They may both be true. Don't know. That's part of the fun of science. Part of the fun of doing observations. How we would prove this, looking at them as we do here, you probably won't. It's probably going to take men walking around on the moon and studying close up. Just like Apollo 15 landed right on the bend below Hadley Mountain, right on at Hadley Rill. I have imaged that rill, but it's a little difficult to video it. We could actually maybe try that if we get a real good night during the summer, and see what we can do with that. But let me see if I can zoom in a little closer, pull that rill in, and we are zoomed up pretty much as far as I can go right now with this 9mm. You can see that it's a very wide open V pointing over towards 3 o'clock. That's the Higgins rill. And notice that pattern of mountain ranges to the right. They're very strange looking. They look like they've been gouged. Don't know what that is. That's not too far from the area where the observers from the 1800s thought they had seen lunar cities. If you remember, I talked a couple times about the white cities of the moon and the Selenites and all that. Very interesting history. I always found it interesting. But of course, there is not life on the moon. I know there's people out there that are going to say, yes, there is, and you're wrong. And that's fine. But just remember, keep the comments clean and nice, like I'm trying to be with you guys who might believe that, yeah, there is life on the moon. But no, I don't believe that. I'm I'm prepping as a result of the book that I came out with about a year ago. I'm doing a public program. Let's see, tonight's Saturday night, the 25th, the 28th, Tuesday night, over at the Plainville Library in Connecticut. I'll be doing a astronomy presentation over there, and it's going to deal with our place in the universe, and my idea is to show just how tiny we are, just how tiny our solar system is compared to our galaxy. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about how we gained this knowledge. I mean, how did we figure this out? And, thinking back into the mid-1800s, going out and looking and seeing a star in the sky and looking up and thinking, how in the world are you going to figure out how far away is it? What's it made of, and what makes it burn? What makes it give off light? Astronomers actually thought that we would never figure those things out. So that's what my presentation's about. It's going to be the size of the universe, and then how we figured it all out, briefly. And then I've got a friend who's going to help me with, if it's clear, and we're going to have a couple of telescopes set up after the presentation. We're going to observe. We'll still have a nice terminator of the moon, and the planet Jupiter will be right nearby. And he's going to help me out with an observing session after. So that should be fun. I can't believe we have not lost this moon into that tree line. When I ran into my car from the telescope, the moon was dipping, but it seemed to kind of just go into this hollow in between two trees where it allowed it to go a little deeper down before it gets into the branches. So that's probably why I'm getting away with these few minutes here. That's some pretty nice detail here. Compared to what I had with that 4.5 millimeter eyepiece is going to be fantastic. It's going to work really well, but we need a good steady night. We need good steady seeing to use it. I mean, if you could have seen the difference in this image and the one with the 4.5, the high power eyepiece, it was huge. It was not nearly as sharp and crisp as this image is. And even this image is not great. We've got, you can see it jumping and waving around there. I better stay away from that word wave, because people were talking about that lunar wave thing, which I don't believe in. This is just bad seeing. We've got a very cold air mass over us. The sun was out all day, warmed up the ground. And it's nice and crystal clear now, and the ground is giving up that heat up into that cold pocket of air above us. And that's what causes the air mixing, and it's what causes the image to jump around in bad seeing. Believe it or not, planetary and lunar observing, and I think I've mentioned this before, is actually done much better on a warm, hazy summer night. Dampness in the air seems to calm these images down. And you don't need to see deep into space to look at the moon and the planets. They're so bright you can see them easily, so you're not worried about the sky being crystal clear. You'd rather see a little haze and moisture in the air because it dampens the scene and makes it a lot better for observing the moon and planets. There you can see Mare Tranquillitatis up there on top with that blue line. That blue line is really fascinating. It'd be very interesting to get lunar samples from just either side of that line and compare them. I'm not sure in the Apollo program. I'd have to go back and look at some of the landing sites and see if any. Of course, Apollo 11 landed in Mare Tranquility, but not anywhere near this dividing line. It was farther up. Let me see. I think it was more up in, up in here someplace. Much farther away from that dividing line. I think it was over in here somewhere. As I say, this image is reversed, so I'm a little bit lost right now. But it would be interesting to see the geological samples and compare them from this site. But anyway, hoping for a good year. Try to get as many of these lunar videos in as I can. But my main goal is I'm back doing CCD imaging from this site. In other words, I'm doing deep sky imaging and color imaging, RGB and luminous imaging with a CCD camera and taking deep sky images. And those require long nights, long runs. To do it properly, you need to put 4 or 5 hours at least of imaging time in to get just one good quality image, to blend the red channel, the green channel, the blue channel, and the luminous. You put them all together, and even though the camera's black and white, the programs in the computer applies the proper color channel to the proper color, and you end up with a nice color image. And I'll be doing quite a bit of that, so of course those nights I will not be doing lunar imaging, and I try to do those anyway on nights when the moon's not in the sky, so I don't have problems with the moon washing out the detail of the very faint deep sky objects. Okay, guys, I'm gonna cut this here pretty quick because we've got to be just about into those trees now. We've got to be getting very close. I just wanted to get this first video of the year up. Wanted to say it's good to be back with you guys again. I noticed I picked up quite a few subscribers over the winter. I hope you're enjoying the videos. And as I say, you know, yeah, it looks like we're hitting some trees here. I'm getting some blackness over on the right side there. You know, if you disagree, I don't have a problem if you make a comment and just, you know, just try to support your disagreement with, you know, why you disagree, and just remember to respect other people's views. Yeah, we're getting into the trees now, so we got to call it here. So just, you know, like I say, just respect other people's views, and let's keep this a fun site for the moon, and enjoy it, and try to get the best lunar videos we can, and really enjoy them. So with that, guys, I'm going to have to end it since we're diving into the trees now, and say good night tonight, and clear skies, good health, and we'll be seeing you off and on here pretty soon during the rest of this summer with some more lunar videos. Take care, guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.